Hello. Welcome to Tona's Table. I am your host, Tona Buck. Repeat after me. Today is going to be a great day. Say it again. Today is going to be a great day. I don't care what your day was before you saw me. Today is going to be a great day. So, my guest has COVID. That's not a laughing moment. It's just like everybody is getting this mess again. It's horrible. And if you have been following me, you know that I just love to talk. So my show is still going to go on as I wish the best for her. I do have another guest. She hasn't come on yet. I don't know if she's going to come on or not. I told you if I look at my phone, I pretty much can call somebody in 2 minutes and ask them to come on because 90% of the people in my phone are truly just straight up eagles, warriors, world changers. I'm connected with some of the best. So I don't know if she's going to be able to make it or not. But if not, I'm still going to talk. And if she doesn't, maybe I'll talk shorter. Probably not. What is going on? 109, 7 years ago, I was having a party at my house. I was ready to start having adult beverages. And I went to walk my dog really fast. And as I was walking my dog, I stopped at the corner and I noticed this black car, a black four-door car, speeding up towards me. And I couldn't figure out where it came from because the way the streets are set up, it shouldn't have been up on me that fast. And my dog really hated cars. So I see it coming, but it's far enough from me that I can, continue to walk across the street. And my dog made it to the sidewalk and the car hits me so hard that it knocked me out, knocked the boot off my foot, damaged my brain, and also my neck. I was awakened by a stranger saying, Miss, please don't move. You just got hit by a car that kept going. Traumatizing, to say the least. Very, very traumatizing. Then, okay, this thing is saying I'm live and I don't see myself right now. I'm just gonna keep going. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's on another. Let me see if it's on Tona's Tables page. It's not on my main page, which would suck. I'm sorry. So I just changed my background and my layout and all that good stuff. Okay, so it's on Tona's Table. It's not on my main. All right. Anywho, let's finish the story. So again, I get woken up by this guy telling me I just got hit by a car. While the people are in my house, I am being rushed to the trauma unit. 7 years later, I still deal with trauma. Like it's post-traumatic stress disorder. That's why it's called that. Because once you had something traumatic happen to you, it will constantly mess with you. So the first year I remember, I was about 2 weeks before 109. And I'm not lying. I could smell the blood in my head because they had to sew my face back up. Part of my hair, part of my head, on the side, but you can smell blood all through my hair. So, like right before the date came, I could smell blood. Like it would just come out of nowhere. I could, the sirens would automatically give me flashbacks. I started having nightmares again because in my mind, what human can hit another human being and leave them on the street like an animal? Like nowhere in my mind could I fathom that this could have really happened to me. And I've dealt with trauma before. If you don't know my story, if this is first time you are listening to me, I introduce myself. Hello, my name is Tona Buck. I'm a sexual abuse survivor. So when people were coming in, telling me, I'm sorry this happened to you, blah, 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 blah. And in my mind, I just kept saying, I survived worse than this. Like it was worse. It was a different type of trauma. That's it. A different type of trauma. And this year, I posted every year. I posted, my face sewn up and the bruises on my face, and my knee was like 5 times bigger. Like literally, I've had so many surgeries. Can you get that? So many surgeries. Like it's crazy. right now, I wasn't going to tape tonight, but because something is going on in the house and I got people in here working, and of course, Top Flight Security is going to cut a food. But the guy said he was finished, and he's not. So let me try to. I don't even know how to do this because, well, you know what? My guest is here right now. Give me 1 second because I need to put my little man up. Maybe he's not coming. Maybe he's just downstairs. Hello, my queen.
Hello, how are
How
you?
are you? Give me 1 minute. I was just telling them that I
Take
was
your
I was
time.
telling them my story about getting hit by the car because that's going to take us right to our segment. But I have people working on my house, and Type Flight is really acting up really fast. So I'm gonna go back to my story, but I'm going to give this 1 minute while I put Type Flight up so that my amazing, awesome, beautiful, talented, terrific guest, Annette Lartigue. I'm gonna give
Wow.
her a couple minutes while again I put Type Flight up to introduce herself, and then I'll come back to my story, and then we'll go right into the segment. You know, when you taping live, things just happen, and you just
They
go
do.
with the flow. I was hoping that
They
these men would be finished, and they're not. So, Miss Annette, introduce yourself while I handle my business, and I promise I'll be back in 1 minute.
take your time. Hey, all. I am Annette Lartigue. I am the host of Coaching You For You and a new podcast on its way. Bring it to the podcast where we're going to talk about everything. But I'm really pleased to be here with Tona tonight to have the opportunity to share about some things that impact all of us. So I'm really happy to be here tonight, Tona. Thank
I'm
you.
excited. So listen, me and Annette goes right. Let me just knock this story out. Then I go into how I always go into my amazing guests. Okay. Long story short, if y'all know me, it's normally not short, but I'm really gonna try to make it short this time. Get hit by the car, wake up in the trauma. The guy wakes me up. I'm waking up in the trauma unit. I'm having trauma and experiences with trauma for 7 years, and I was able to post this year and it's important for me, and that's why when my guest had gotten, told me that again, praying for her and her family, told me that she had gotten COVID. I automatically knew who I could call. Again, 90% of my people in my phone are warriors and eagles. So I am blessed to have such amazing people surrounding me. Now, 7 years later, I post this, and I never thought I would. I'm gonna give you two stories. I'm gonna go into it. I post this year, the 7th year of me being hit like an animal left on the street to die, and still not healed, and still not knowing who hit me. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning, right? I always tell people they can't take my ministerial license back like they can't take my VA back. I studied for both of them, and I earned and studied myself approved, and I know the 66 books backwards and forwards is mine. I worked for it. And one of the things I don't think people understand in that is that the morning is not technically a time of day. The morning is the time in your life. The morning is your healing process. That morning may be 12 o'clock in the morning, that may be 11 o'clock at night, or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or 12 o'clock at noon. But the morning symbolizes when the healing starts taking place. Because I literally didn't expect it. I had a friend whose birthday was on 109, and I was hanging out, and I just remember all of a sudden, that's the crazy part, because I just told you like 2 weeks prior before I before 109, I would start having flashbacks and smelling the blood, and dealing with the post-traumatic stress. And it was real. Like, I could write a book on depression. Trust me, it was real. But this year, all of a sudden, I had to, oh God, y'all don't understand. If I didn't think I was gonna make a little bit of makeup up for this camera, oh, I just want to cry, because you don't understand that I had to remember.
Just tell your story. Yeah.
I had to remember 109. Like, it wasn't something that was haunting me months in advance. It wasn't haunting me days in advance. It just happened to be a couple days before. And I looked on the calendar when the person said that their birthday was on 109. And I realized, girl, that's your 7th year. I'm going to tell somebody that needs
Tell
to
them.
hear this, that been struggling, that's been going through. I always say, I don't never talk to nobody talking about, oh, my bills due, or I don't got money for my mortgage. I'm talking to somebody who, my husband not acting right, or my wife ain't acting right, or my kids. Girl, nope. Nope. I'm talking about somebody that experienced a whole different type of trauma. The trauma that you know, that you know, that you know, that you know, that you didn't ask for. Something just happened. That's what trauma is. It just happens out of the blue. But I'm talking about people when somebody takes somebody life that you love, like one of your loved ones' life, or like for me, like I'm getting hit down like an animal, just minding my business, or when you hear that news or get that phone call or get that text message that change your life in a minute so bad that it haunts your spirit. It's buried in your soul. It's eating at you because you can't understand. And you can ask God, and people can come to you and ask the questions over and over, like, why me? Like, why did this happen to me? I'm talking about that type of trauma. It took 7 years. It took 7 years. It took 7 years. I woke up and I had to remember. Not
I
that the scars are
receive.
not still there. Not that still got doctor's appointments. I'm still at the neurologist right now. But that trauma, that smell, those flashbacks, those nightmares,
Yes.
that morning time came for me. Somebody is waiting for morning time, and I promise you it's going to come. You can go to therapists for years. You can tell people about it for years. But all of a sudden, I am a witness. I lost 5 people that next year, Annette. I lost 5 people in 6 months. After I got hit by the car with a brain injury. I don't never think I cried so much. Joy comes in the morning. So
It
I
does.
just want to take the opportunity to thank all of you for 7 years, for all your prayers, for all your encouraging words, for all the cards, for all the dinners, for everything, for all the text messages. I want to thank y'all. Because again, unless you really know what trauma is, you wanna know what I'm talking about. You just
Yeah.
thinking that pain ain't gonna never end. Again, am I still healing? I am. I'm still healing. I'm still healing. But the blessing is my process has started. It's
Amen.
started, right? So
Amen.
I wanted this queen, Annette Lartigue, and I'm glad that she introduced herself because I get to be on her podcast forever. Let me go all the way back to talk about this extraordinary young lady that's sitting next to me. Because I told you I only sit world changers next to me. Me
All
and
right.
Annette go back to, oh my God. I was a kid. I was the president of City People Take Action. She came in,
Yeah.
she helped me. I actually ran for office when I was a little girl, and I had the pleasure of running against such a wise woman and losing to such a wise woman. And she was the only one I lost to. It was like 50 of us running that year for Westport City Councilwoman. And I came in second, and I was a kid, and it was a great experience that I would never want to do again. And I appreciated her because she was such an amazing politician in the city of Trenton and did so many amazing things that
Thank you.
I had the honor to watch her greatness, and I continue to be great because, like I said, all women around me are great. And then she decided to take on, which she would have did an amazing job, the mayor of our, I would say, great city of Trenton, New Jersey, and
Yeah.
asked me to be her running mate, to be on her ticket. Like, how overwhelmed was I when I knew that and I always say people see something in my little, fatherless ghetto behind that I'm always honored and grateful for that they see it, but they also support me and always have my back. So me and Annette go back and we do podcasts together and we support each other together. So I'm honored. I'm finished talking about me and my act and my hit. When it's not an accident, my hit and run. Again, thank you all. Really fast. April the 9th, 2022, Trenton's worldwide virtual sexual assault walk. You can register now at tonabuck.com, rosewarriors.org, or Eventbrite, Trenton, New Jersey's Sexual Assault Awareness Month walk. Please join us. I'm going to really start reaching out to everybody. Our next meeting will be January the 24th. from 6:30 to 7:30. I don't keep you long. I have my agenda. We knock it out. People got time. People, time is important to people. So I'm inviting you to come out. For more information, you can call me at 609-331-9931. Again, 609-331-9931. So I asked Annette to come on tonight to cover a topic, and I want to say this before to go right into the segment. My sister said something today, and I want to make sure I pronounce it right. For today is Ubuntu. I've taught this one before in my own videos, but Ubuntu means Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Ubuntu is an African word, and it's my sister. It's on TikTok, and so she sent it, and it was so powerful because it talked about not only who I am, but everyone who's in my circle, and for some people who may need to understand the importance of unity, the importance of working together, the importance of encouraging each other, the importance of loving on each other. It's an African word, and that's what it symbolizes: the heritage of everyone loving, supporting, and encouraging each other. So I want my guests to tell all of my amazing listeners, why does she think that it's important to just have a circle or just take the opportunity to encourage other people?
I think it's important. Thank you, Tona. And you shared about some pretty interesting stuff. But the thing that you hit on most that I don't want to bypass is you talked about us working together. And I hope they heard you.
Yes.
Because working together doesn't mean that there won't be times when we're doing something different. And that's okay.
Yes.
That really is okay. It's okay. I admire and respect you because you're a hard worker, because you have the character traits that I admire. You're honest, you're authentic, and that makes the difference. But I think it's important to inspire people because every single one of us have had challenges that impact us in the way that yours did when you were hit and left in the street. Impact us when you were molested as a child. And look at you.
Thank you.
I want people to know, no matter what you're going through, in my grief, I lost a ton of people. My mother, my father, my brother, my sister, my twin sister, friends, my sister-in-law. Listen, incredibly challenging. But what I remember most from a woman who mentors me is when I look ahead, and that's my topic tonight,
yes,
I see that I've survived some of my toughest times. And was it easy? No.
No.
Is it easy being an elected official? No. Is it? Because everybody wants a piece of you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes not in the best ways. It's easy to take a jab at the person who's in the ring when you're sitting outside the ring.
Yes.
And some of you will get that on the way home. Mm-hmm. When you are in that ring and you are taking the punches, you're doing the best you can.
Yes.
And I want to thank Winston. He spoke about leadership today and how people feel about leadership and where they think they are in it. Leadership is tough. Everybody wants to be a leader.
I know that's right.
Everybody's not prepared to be a leader. Mm-mm. Everybody wants to be in office. Everybody's not prepared to be in office. You have to know what's for you. When the door doesn't open, it's not for you. That's God.
Yes.
That's God as you understanding. That's God as I understanding. There are things I attempted to do. When I first ran for mayor, I was incredibly ill and didn't know it. There was no way I should have been in a campaign. And the second time around, the race was crowded and people couldn't hear.
Yeah.
And so, given the opportunity, if I had the energy, time, and effort today, I am absolutely sure I could run and win. I have no interest. What I'm interested in is making sure people understand, not from my perspective, but from facts, what the city is
Yes.
and what it requires. So before you take a swing at anybody that's in the ring, ask yourself, if I were in that ring doing the very best that I could, what would I want from others?
Yes. Yes. And the one thing that they need, listen, Annette, you couldn't pay me. You asked me the money. I was like, girl, no, ma'am. You're right. I'm gonna have some politicians that's running on the show coming up too. But the one thing that I do know is what carries you is what we're talking about tonight is strong people in your circle. Because when those people come at you and throwing jabs, you need somebody. I always say I have an issue with somebody to come back and tell me somebody talked about me because I want to know what was you doing when they was talking. I'm,
Listening.
that's what I want to know because you can't come to me talking about somebody that I got their back and I'm gonna sit there and let you talk about them. I don't even care if you're right. That's my issue. You could be 100. I done had some friends and some colleagues, and they could be 100% wrong. And let somebody come and talk to me, talk bad about them in front of me. No, ma'am. No, you won't. Mm-mm. I always said, if you come back and tell me that somebody talked about me, I need to figure out what was you saying and why they felt comfortable enough to talk about me in front of you.
Well, even more than that, I think when people gossip maliciously, and people do,
Yep.
the thing to remember is this: the same way they're talking to you, they'll also talk about you.
Yep.
That's number one. And number two is you have to understand that everybody has a bone to pick somewhere, somehow about something.
Yeah.
My response to people, and a former good friend of mine will tell you this, I would say, why are you telling me? There's nothing I can change about what you're feeling or thinking about that person. Tell them.
Exactly.
That's how it
Exactly.
works.
Tell them. No, no,
Tell them.
literally tell them. Don't please. You telling me I can't fix that situation. The one thing you will know about me, and Annette said it really clear, I am 100% real. I am.
Yeah,
I have learned as I gotten older to pick and choose my battles because some
yeah,
people are not even worth me wasting my time on. I'm being
yeah.
honest. They're not worth me wasting my breath. The one thing I realized when I got hit by that car, Annette, is that my breath is very important to me because that could have been my last breath, right? There's
Absolutely.
no way the trauma that I went to when I got hit by that car, I should still be here and I'm blessed to still be here. You think I'm gonna waste my time worrying about somebody not liking me or got an issue with me or talking about me? Unless they're
Okay.
paying my bills, touching my kids, or got something that
All
I
right.
need really bad, I'm gonna sleep well. They ain't got to like me. In my book, I said very clearly, my book, that second Amazon. In my book, I said that I said it very clearly. It's two things you want about me, and I need you to understand this. Certain people, you're gonna like me, right? And some people are not gonna like me. Some things I've done, I always just publicly
The
ask for
way it
forgiveness.
is.
I'm not perfect, right? But some people don't like me just because they don't like me. But I could promise people, and whoever watching this, who really don't like me for whatever reason, if I did something, forgive me. But if I didn't, I'm gonna sleep well tonight. I'm gonna sleep. I have learned to pick the last 7 years. I don't know if I was like that before the 7 years because I forget a little bit who I was before I forgot a whole lot before I got
No,
damaged my.
you had a lot of those traits prior to that.
Really, I
You
thank
know,
you. So thank you.
your
This was
authenticity,
before, but now I'm
was always there. You were
like,
always solid, but you talked about circles. So let me hit on that a little bit.
yes,
Your circles, your circle matter.
he
And
does.
there's that outer, there's that second ring, and then there's that third ring. And that third ring, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, that's your circle. And who you surround yourself with and the people you deal with absolutely matter.
It
It,
matters.
it matters because you can't be with a bunch of people who have no goals and no priorities and no life and say,
No,
oh,
no
but I'm
purpose,
different.
no vision,
You're not. It
because they're not going to understand yours. They won't even get the concept. They won't get the concept if you're around people who do not have a vision or purpose, or even I say this and that, even if you don't know your purpose or your vision right now and you have gifts and talents, how about support the person right then and plant that seed so when it's time for you to reap your harvest, right? That some people God, I believe in God, but the universe will bring people around to sow what you reaped, right?
Yes,
I always say when people have these gifts and talents, they and they sitting back frowned up. I'm like, no, why don't you just go bless somebody else? You may not know your purpose or your vision clearly right now, but everybody got one. I tell people all the time, I don't care if it's flipping the best hamburger. I don't care if it's
that's
being the
right.
best mother.
That's right.
I don't care if it's cleaning up the. I don't listen. Everybody got a purpose, and people are looking. People looking for other things. You know what I learned to do, and I'm gonna give this. This is a secret. This is a secret that everybody needs to hear. One of the things that keeps me grounded, and for the most part, peace. I stay in my lane. I don't want what you got. I can't do. I'm not called. I can only be me. I posted a picture of the 10-year challenge, and I look, and in my mind, I look better now probably than 10 years ago. Because I was stressing over stuff. But the one thing that I said, we're only in competition with ourselves, and when we get that, when we understand that we're truly only in competition with ourselves, girl, we can walk in our purpose, our visions, and be more clear. Because I ain't trying to compete against nobody. I'm not near person I'm trying to compete against, and that's so important. Let me just say this story really fast, right? You know, I always got a story to tell. So I have a science, you know, I'm an educator, and this is science teaching because I need people to get this and how important it is. First of all, know that season change. You have three things. You have people in your life for seasons, reasons, and a lifetime. And if they leave, that doesn't mean you did anything bad. That doesn't mean that y'all hate each other. It just meant that they was there for a season or a reason, right? And so there's
Right.
walk around having, and I said this before, have animosity towards somebody because they're not supporting you in that season. They supported you in the season that you needed them. Story really fast. I am an educator. I have an amazing science teacher named Miss Dean at my school. So we are in a training, and I don't know how this subject came about, but I need for every woman and person, but especially us women, because sometimes we are our worst enemy. Anyway,
Yes.
she was talking about geese, right? And she said, do you know why they fly in a V? And I was like, girl, nobody don't think about no geese flying in no V. She said the reason why they
Important.
fly. She said the reason why they fly in a V, She said because the first two, they take the first one takes all the heat. I'm saying all the heat, the wind, everything, right? And then the second one goes where the first one is, right? So when you have somebody in your circle and they tired, because we get tired doing this. I don't know, y'all think we super women, but we are not. We get tired sometimes, and we have family issues, we have a financial issue, we got stuff going on, but we still got to walk in our purpose, right? So that second one comes right up to the first one, and it's
Yep.
like a ripple effect, right? And then the one in the back who rested, those are the ones I'm talking to right now that may not fully know their purpose and their goals in their visions right now. They're in the back, but they still have a vital, important role in that first bird's, that leader's vision. So when she gets tired and it's time for someone else, she could come in the back and start pushing you. Now you can come from the back and now you can lead. That's what it's about. It's about supporting each other in a cycle, right? My timing may not be your timing. Your timing may not be my timing. But supporting each other as Black sisters is all of our timing. I don't got to hate on you.
That's right.
I
That's
compliment
right.
Black women so much. I compliment all women. Listen, y'all look at me. I love my ex-husband, new wife. I love my son's father, ex-wife. Like they be like, how do you do that? Because I cheer on good women. Period. I don't care where I know them from or how we associated. If you are doing something major, or you doing something good, or you listen, please call on me. I will sign you on my show. I will support you. I am so not a hater. We need to learn not to do crabs in a barrel because again, when I heard what my sister Dr. Sherelle Bellamy, you know, I was have to give her a shout out. When I heard what my that TikTok from my sister Dr. Sherelle Bellamy, it like just sparked something in me. I was like, we need in 2022, not only as women, but as a culture, to start supporting, loving, sharing, networking more together. Am I crazy in that?
No, you're not, because actually, you spoke about loving, your ex-husband's wives, right?
Yes.
I want to shout out Barbara Counts. That's the first woman my husband loved,
Okay.
besides his mother. And guess what? I love her too. That's my wife-in-law.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
love her too. He loved her. I love her too.
She makes
It's
him happy. I love him. I love her for it.
she made him happy at some point enough for him to love her. They have a child together. He is now deceased along with my husband. However, Barbara is my wife-in-law. I love that woman.
Exactly.
I love her.
Exactly. My son,
And
I call my son. Her name is Lynn. I call Lynn my son's second mama. I don't even call it. I don't even call her the step mama. She's a second mama. That's how amazing she is. And we have a now we all got a granddaughter together. And we all and they're so this is my son's father. They're divorced or whatever, but she still is a part of my granddaughter's life. Like I. People say,
as
"How do
you
you do
should
that?"
be.
I said, "What do you mean? How do I do that?"
As
Nakia
you
is
should be.
amazing. Like we all going to we all to be in New Orleans this weekend because our daughter my daughter is having a baby shower and we want to turn it up together. Me, the ex, the family. Listen, girl, when you know who
Tona,
you are and confident and you are, you don't worry about no stuff like that. You love people for who they are.
Tona, that's the way it goes. When I have a book out.
Yes.
I just I just finished the book. It's ready to go. It's
Yes.
called Number
Let me do
One.
this real fast.
I've been
Let me
working on it for
I'm
years.
sorry,
It's
go ahead.
number one, you're not the trauma center. That
Yes.
means you're not responsible for all the trauma in the world and your family, with your friends. You are not. You help and you do what you can do and move on. But the
Yes.
second book is Behavior Doesn't Lie. You can always tell when a woman is insecure.
Yes.
She bashes the ex. She
Mm-hmm.
tries to speak above the ex. She tries to prove that she's better than the ex.
Yep.
When if you love that man, at some point he loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself together.
Yep.
Find your whole real self. It's not cute. It's not cute when we fight with people about things that don't matter. Why are you fighting? Why are you trying to outdo an ex? Be in your lane.
Exactly.
She was in hers. She's an ex now. Be in your lane. Show behavior doesn't lie. Your
It
self
doesn't.
confidence. Listen. Your trauma, your lack of confidence always shows up. I don't care what you say.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
how you
It's the residue.
behave. It's your character.
Yep.
It's your ability to get along with folks, whether folks get along with you or not, and
Mm-hmm.
to just be whole in it. Trying to show people up, you're showing out. And not only are you showing out, but you're speaking and you don't even know it. You're saying, "Look at me. I'm better." That's your lack of confidence. You're
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Look at me. I'm smarter." That's your lack of confidence. You're saying, "Look at me. He's with me." That's your lack of confidence. And it speaks volumes. I don't care what you say, it's what you do.
Yes.
It's not your reputation,
It's your character.
it's not your status. It's your character that speaks for you. Your reputation is what other people think. Your character is what you actually do. Try to show up and boss another woman that's been hurt,
Mm-hmm.
or is the ex, or is suffering, and I promise you, baby, those tables turn. And when
Mm-hmm.
they do, expect more of the same. So your circle matters.
Yes.
Inspiring people matters. You, everybody, listen, my dash, I want my dash to say, I
Yes.
lifted people up. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what people say about me, it's what I've done.
Yep.
I've hired people to ensure that they could eat. There was food on their table.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, no matter what they say, that's my legacy. It's
Yep.
not four or five, it's many, many, many people. Contractors who came to the city when I was in the city, if they tell the whole story, they have to tell the story that when they came to me, I did everything I could to boost them up. If they were legit, I brought them to the table. And
Mm-hmm.
some of them proved worthy and some of them proved unworthy. The point is, if I had the opportunity to do it again, I'd do the same thing. Because if we don't help each other, nobody's going to help us. You're not so cute. You're not so wonderfully built. You know, excuse me, so many people focus on what they look like. It's what's inside of you, baby. It's
Yes.
what's on the inside. And
That's a
listen,
ooh, girl.
I don't have any problem with the way I look. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
any problem with the way I feel. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
any problem with the things I've done. Have I
Mm-hmm.
made mistakes? Absolutely. Have I
Mm-hmm.
learned from them? Absolutely. But
Mm-hmm.
when they tell the story, they're gonna have to tell the whole story.
You
She
know what's so
lifted
you
he
know what's
lifted
so
me up.
that's right, Annette. And you do. You want to leave a great legacy the next 50 years from now because you got a lot of
And
work to do. But it's
I
always
lifted
funny
it
that
up.
you say that because I'm single, and so I date here and there or whatever. And I always say to men, this don't mean nothing. I was like, you ever really take the time to know me, to know my heart? And I don't need nobody to tell me what my heart is. I know that dash between when I die is going to be servant because I listen to say, how can I help somebody else? I don't care if it's feeding people, clothing people, doing the walks. How can I be used to serve people? That's what heals my void. I remember when I was younger, the drugs and the alcohol and the sex would heal my void. And as I got older, I was like, ooh, helping people, knowing
What did
that
you do to lift them up?
but
That's
that's
what
what
you
it is.
want to talk
Knowing that I
about.
can do something to help someone, to
What did
encourage someone.
you do to
If
lift
I
them up?
feel bad for those who are on my who are a part of my phone log, because y'all know me. Well, if I wake up, I am sending out an encouraging word. I don't care if you respond or
I
not.
appreciate it.
Say it again.
I appreciate it.
Oh,
I
thank
get your
you.
text. I absolutely appreciate it. Not only do I appreciate it, Tona, but I want to tell you this, and I want your audience to hear this. I don't care how well you dress. I don't care what you think your status is. Your status is your character.
Hmm.
I don't care who you are and what you think.
Hmm.
One of the things I don't want to hear, I have brothers. And I know that nobody in this world is perfect, but there's some pretty amazing people out here. To talk about these men, let's have a show one day where we talk about what the women are doing to create the problems that exist for all of us.
Oh, girl, I could write a book about
I
that. My own
don't
self.
want a man who's been everywhere. I don't
Yeah.
want that. I haven't been everywhere. I don't want a man who's been everywhere. You think that's cute? That's not cute. You know what's cute? When you have a man who takes care of his family, who won't dog his ex, who speaks
Exactly.
well of her and admits that they couldn't get along and they had some disagreements. I appreciate and respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but the men are not the problem. They're not. It's the women who let other people's husbands into their bed. It's
Mm-hmm.
the women who refuse to accept that a man has a serious relationship. It's the women who think the side chick thing is cute. Really? How little you must think of yourself. Come on. I don't want a relationship, probably because you can't get one. How could you call yourself a side chick? How could you call yourself the other woman and think it's cute? Now, I understand that women fall in love, and so do men,
Mm-hmm.
and things happen in relationships. But from the depths of my soul, from the soul of a woman, you're going to be hearing about that soon, too.
Okay.
You need to understand that everything you do is coming back to you.
Or we already experienced it. Because if y'all so men and that has a different view about side chicks. Only because I cut up most of my life. A good view. A good view. I'm not saying that it's wrong. Because my book, Liberated How Women Cheat, I always say, women do have responsibility to say no. But when I wrote my book, I said but the person who's committed to you, and these men need to understand that too. The person that's committed to you at the end of the day is that man who said that he loved you, that promised to be allegiant to you. He is 100%. Does a side ship make it difficult? Yes, they do. But at the end of the day, that man, you men need to have some type of self-control that you love that person enough that you don't want to destroy them. Because once you find that out, that's a whole nother segment, girl. We're gonna be here forever. We're gonna come back to that.
But
So
we're
Annette,
gonna do
tell
the
me,
side
tell me
chick
how you find your peace.
conversation. So let's
How
let's set up a time to do the side chick
do I do
conversation
that?
because I
I
want
wrote a
to
book.
hear from them. I want to know what they think is cool in that.
I, I would, girl.
Another topic, another time, I
Yeah,
guess.
girl. Listen, we're gonna go back and forth because I'm gonna educate some woman. Ask a woman who would do, girl. I wrote a book about myself. Liberated how why women cheat. Amazon. Yeah. So Annette, tell us where we can find your books at. 'Cause I have to get off of here.
I haven't started. I have to launch,
Okay.
and as soon as I launch, all of that information will be there.
Well, as soon as you
Um,
launch, I'm going
I'm
to.
incredibly excited about it because for so long I thought I was the trauma center, and that it was my responsibility to take care of everything and make everything right. Right. Family, friends, or foe,
Yep.
employment,
Hmm.
relationships, marriages, whatever. I'm not the trauma center, and neither are you. And so we
I
just
love
talk about and talk. We talk about boundaries, and I'm starting to see people post some of the stuff that's in my book. Boundaries, not walls. You know,
yes.
opening up and being amenable to, loving a man. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about this.
Okay.
I don't mind working with a man and building him up as
Yeah.
long as his character is good.
Yes.
He's willing to work hard. He's loyal, he's committed, and he is spiritually grounded. I don't
Hmm.
mind that. You don't have to be a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief.
Yes.
Be a good person. That's what makes the difference. So often men run up against women who have,
These
a
women that's
history of leadership and being in charge, and they're automatically intimidated. Well, if you're intimidated, you need to take a look at yourself. It has
say it
nothing to do
again.
with the woman. So we got some things to talk about, and
Me
I
too.
want
You
to
go
thank
ahead
you
another segment
for
because
having me here
Me
tonight.
and Miss Annette got two different views on the side woman.
The
I'm
side
just
chick.
saying.
We're going
Well,
to
I'm
talk
just
about
saying.
that.
You know what? I like my side because it educates and opens the minds to women who would never think of doing that. You know what I mean? So
Let's get that topic
we can
another time.
and I promise you, Annette, I want to have you back after you launch your book. I am so proud of you. You know
Thank
that
you.
I appreciate all that you do. I appreciate your support. Again, April the 9th, 2022, Trenton's Worldwide Sexual Assault Virtual Walk. Reach out to me, tonabut.com. If you need information, I need every state in the United States represented, and I want my countries there too. So I know my countries can hear me. Please make sure you reach out to me. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. Me and Annette coming back a couple more
We're
times this
coming
year.
back. We're
About the
going to talk
side
about
chick.
this.
We're gonna talk about the
There's
side
some good
chick,
men out there. There's
and we're
some
gonna talk about men
incredibly
women
good men
relationship.
out there.
But
There are some good men out here.
I'm definitely gonna tell y'all about the side chick. Love y'all. Bye. See y'all.
I'm
Take
coming in
care.
for that. Thank you,
See
Tona.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Love you.
Eat fruit, drink water, and mind your business.
That's it. That's it.